The waiting is almost over. Will it be Celtic or Boavista in the Uefa Cup final? 2 weeks ago, the unlucky Jocivalter put through his own goal to give Boavista a valuable away goal. But Henrik Larsson's equaliser leaves the sides level, going into tonight's second leg. Let's go straight to the Bessa Stadium. Awaiting us, Sandy Clark and Rob McLean.
And several thousand Celtic supporters. There's only one British team left in Europe, and that's Celtic. Will we still be able to say that once this UEFA Cup semi-final is settled? We'll answer that one for you shortly. Two changes for Boavista. From Celtic Park, defender Paulo Tura is suspended, and Pedro Santos, back after a ban, replaces him. And there's a change up front with one Brazilian replacing another. Luíz Claúdio gives way. Top scorer Silva is a new threat to Celtic. Martelinho goes with the same team as drew at home to Boavista 2 weeks ago, and the same team which lost to Hearts on Saturday. And that means 17-goal Chris Sutton starts on the bench after missing 6 games with a broken wrist. The scene is set for a night of football drama. Celtic have beaten Suduva and Blackburn and Celta Vigo and Stuttgart and Liverpool. 1-0 against Boavista a fortnight ago. Can they finish the job? Can Celtic reach a first European final since 1970 in Milan, when of course Celtic lost to Feyenoord 3 years after winning the competition, of course, here in Portugal. Sandy, it's a mouth-watering prospect, this.
It is, Rob. It's a massive game for both clubs. There's such a great prize for the winners tonight, the team that go through. That's a place in a major UEFA Cup final. And there's so much to lose, so much to gain. And it's going to be difficult for Celtic. They've played so well away from home. At Boavista, they're a very strong team, well organised. And you've got to remember as well, they don't have to score tonight. They'll be quite happy as long as the scoreline stays at 0-0, whereas Celtic, right from the start, they have to go for it. They've lost that away goal in Glasgow tonight. They must score, and I'm sure Martelinho will set his team out to do that.
It looks very much as if there's going to be a delayed kick-off. It's a ground under repair, as you can see. New stands being constructed at both ends of the ground in preparation for Euro 2004. This is one of the venues. And a big reception from the Boavista supporters. Their dream is that it's an all-Portuguese final of this UEFA Cup, with Porto, of course, in the other semi, already 4-1 up against Lazio, the second leg there in Rome. And we'll let you know as this match progresses who the winners here will face in the final in Seville on May 21. That's less than 4 weeks away. It's a big prize. Can Celtic reach out and grab hold of it? Supporters still streaming into the Bessa Stadium. Celtic's official allocation is just over 2,500 places, but always on these occasions you suspect there are maybe 1 or 2 more.
I think it's normal for Scottish fans. They seem to pick up tickets from everywhere, and the one thing about our fans, they're always well behaved. It's all about what happens on the pitch tonight. Can't say enough about how big a game it is for Celtic. We didn't play particularly well in the first leg. They'll have to play better tonight if they're going to get through, but it should be a determined bunch of players out there.
If you're looking for good omens, Celtic have scored 2 away goals in 4 out of 5 UEFA Cup ties in this campaign, and of course 1 goal was enough in Vigo to put out a top 5 side in La Liga. But since winning their last Old Firm league game, Celtic have won 2 out of 8 games. Chris Sutton looking a bit glum there. He would have hoped possibly to have been pitched straight back into the starting lineup for Celtic, but he will start on the bench, and he of course offers Celtic something a little different, something Boavista haven't come up against so far, and if they're struggling for a breakthrough, expect to see Sutton on the pitch in the second half. Ricardo there, who saved from Henrik Larsson from the penalty spot, and Filipe Anunciação, who was sent off at the weekend in a Portuguese league game against Gil Vicente. The referee is Russian Valentin Ivanov. He handled the recent Champions League games involving Manchester United and Arsenal, and he likes a little yellow card or two. From Lithuania to Liverpool, Celtic have taken us on a thrill-a-minute European adventure. Anfield was difficult to beat, but remember Blackburn and Stuttgart and Vigo, Celtic have saved their best for the second legs, all of which in the UEFA Cup have been away from home. Let's hope that is a trend which continues. And they're facing here a Boavista side which is really struggling in domestic football. 12th in the league, only 6 teams beneath them in the Portuguese Superliga. They're not so super at the moment, 43 points behind the leaders Porto. But they've produced in Europe, and a little club just one game away from a big match in Seville, Sandy.
It's a massive game for Boavista, no question about that. They've given up in the Portuguese league. Obviously there's John Hartson giving away an early free kick. He'll be so important today. I thought he caused Boavista lots of problems there at Celtic Park, and I'm sure he'll be looking for good service from Agathe and Thompson down the wide areas.
Mario Loja on the ball and turned infield to Edér, the Brazilian who conceded the first leg penalty, which of course sadly Henrik Larsson went on to miss, or more appropriately have it staved by Boavista keeper Ricardo. Now if you're watching on digital, satellite or Freeview, you can hit the red button for enhanced coverage of the game. Foul given against John Hartson, and a lot for Celtic might depend on how this referee views the physical stuff which John Hartson always hands out.
That's going to be important, Rob. I think it's also important John Hartson's attitude after a free kick is given against him. If he shows far too much dissent to the referee will keep pulling him up for any infringement whatsoever. He's got to ignore him and just go and play the game.
Johan Mjallby manages to stop Pedro Santos. That's Santos again, who missed the first leg because of suspension. Stilian Petrov looking for Larsson, and Edér is there. That's Valgaeren. Good stretch from Petrov. Lennon to Hartson. Lovely flowing football from Celtic. Didier Agathe. Much might hinge on his performance. Celtic need him bursting down the flank, and they need him supplying good ball into the box. In from Lambert, awkward bouncing ball. And there is uncertainty about the Boavista defence. We saw it in the first leg.
Good pressure from Celtic as well. Henrik Larsson, John Hartson, putting the defenders under pressure there, forcing them into the error to give away the throw in.
Lambert's throw, John Hartson's head flick, up went Henrik Larsson, and it's fired away by Martelinho. Back in from Valgaeren, and away again from Ávalos. That's good covering from Bobo Balde. Sensed the threat there from Duda, and he's been a star man for Celtic, Balde, this European run, as is Alan Thompson. 3 UEFA Cup goals from him already, including of course the ones in Stuttgart and Liverpool. Ávalos, the Argentinian, who's walking a tightrope. He's had 4 yellows in Europe already. That means he's 1 more away from a suspension. And the Celtic pair who have to beware in the starting lineup, because they've received 2 yellows so far, are Thompson and Petrov. And at the moment, it's one purpose in mind for Celtic. That's to win the game and to head for Seville. A lot of work to be done. That was a dangerous header from Balde. Kept in by Duda. Silva. And that's a poor pass from Silva. If he played it early, there was a real opportunity for Erivan down the left side. He had a lot of room, a quick pass, a precise pass, and Celtic defence might well have been breached there.
I think it was Alan Thompson more than anybody else saw, but it's a 50-50 ball with Duda. and Thompson lost out in that type of situation. You just can't afford that to happen. I'm sure Martelinho's trying to get that message across to these players. They've got to win the ball in their own half.
That's hooked on by Erivan, one of several Brazilians, a real Brazilian blend about this Boavista team. Henrik Larsson did so well to keep that in, flicks it back for Didier Agathe. Looking for Larsson again. Larsson lost his footing at a key moment, and Edér manages to make up the ground and fire the ball out of play.
I think that's the earlier incident we're watching there. Santos looking for a free kick. A good play from Didier Agathe down the right hand side. He's made a decent start.
Martelinho clears, not very effectively, back in from Lennon. This time it's Ávalos. Lambert to Hartson. Great screening of the ball from John Hartson. Petrov, Larsson, Thompson. 3 in the box. 1 is John Hartson. He was always stretching, always struggling to do anything with that. That was good possession and not far away from a good ball in.
It's great positional play from John Hartson. Alan Thompson just puts too much on the ball. John Hartson can't get there to knock it back across the 6-yard box.
Just a word about radio coverage. If you're having trouble picking up Radio Scotland, the match is on FM, not medium wave. In the unlikely event, of course, that you're not watching and listening with us on BBC television. Silva. Lennon intercepts his pass. Good quick feet from Agathe. Gets it back from Lambert. It's all very tight to the touchline. Lennon plays it into the box. Henrik Larsson nipped in front of Edér. That's brilliant play from Larsson, and so unlucky he didn't get more on the cutback.
It's a good start from Celtic. They're playing the game in the Boavista half. Henrik Larsson so unlucky here. I think he's actually trying to get a corner kick more than anything else, trying to play the ball off Edér. But just as we thought, Rob, Boavista, they're quite happy to sit in. Well, the game's at 0-0. They're still in pole position.
Mjallby, who missed 4 months of the season with injury. Celtic miss him, he's a key man. And this man might be a key man as well, the referee, Mr. Ivanov. Erivan's pass, taken out of it by Lennon, then Lambert intercepted. Boavista haven't really been allowed to settle so far. That's part of the Celtic plan. And again, Mjallby taking the safety first option. The ball down the line from Loja.
Mjallby reads the game so well. Very experienced player. Important part of the Celtic team.
Loja's throw. The layoff from Silva. Didn't quite come off for Pedro Santos. Thompson to Larsson, killed the ball instantly. Lovely layoff to Lambert. And Henrik Larsson on the ball again. He was pushed by Silva. No free kick. Agathe in possession. That's not one of Lambert's better passes. But there he is to win it back with a crunching challenge against Erivan. Good tight marking from Mjallby on Silva, but Mr. Ivanov didn't fancy the challenge. Free kick given.
I think Silva is down very easily here. Mjallby's close to him, maybe just a fraction too close.
Loja with the free kick. Santos. And that was handball from Martelinho, who couldn't get there with his head.
Yeah, I think the referee's awarded the free kick. That's a silly one.
The left foot of Alan Thompson. Hartson, and Larsson had a real chance to get Celtic ahead. You expected that to be in the back of the net.
That's a great chance, Rob. It's so unlike Henrik Larsson. John Hartson causing havoc inside the box, and he's got a yard of space. He's got between the two defenders, and the one thing you've got to do, you've got to try and make the goalkeeper save it, hit the target, make him work. And he knows himself, he's disappointed with that one. He knows he should have made the goalkeeper do something.
It was a decent challenge though from Edér, who got across and got enough in front of Larsson just to take his eye off the chance. But immediately Larsson involved again, trying to get Stilian Petrov through the middle. And now the counter-attack with Boavista, and Pedro Santos stopped by Bobo Balde. Great interception. That's beyond Hartson, and it just finds its way through to Ricardo. Edér infield to Erivan. 27 is Pedrosa. That's a great challenge from Neil Lennon to win possession. Celtic playing with a real hunger, which they have to display if they want to see off the Portuguese opposition and take their place in the UEFA Cup final. There are real extremes here. If Celtic get to the final, it's a sensational season. If they lose here tonight, well, some would say their season is effectively over, so far behind in the title race, even with the Old Firm match to come at Ibrox on Sunday. A reminder that we've got a man of the match competition running throughout 0900 10 200 25. If your guess agrees with Sandy's, then you could win a new Game Boy SP. Ricardo's long kick out, and Silva won't catch that. Jocivalter lets it go. Ricardo said to be interesting Manchester United. Jimmy Pacheco, the Boavista coach, in his 5th season with the club, and he led them to the Portuguese title 2 years ago, emerging from the shadow of the really big Portuguese sides, Porto, Benfica and Sporting Lisbon. Up goes Hartson with another good challenge. Didier got hesitated there, Mario Loja didn't. There's been very little attacking though so far from the home team. Long may that continue.
Well, that's right. Celtic have started the game fairly well. The one thing I would like to see, Rob, is just a little bit more support from the middle of the park to the two strikers. Stilian Petrov's the one that normally does that, but just a little bit deep in this moment.
Well, I thought John Hartson should have had a free kick the first time from Mr. Ivanov, but certainly gets it second time.
Yeah, there's no question that's a free kick. Such a strong guy, John Hartson. It's hard to defend against.
Balde up to the edge of the area alongside Hartson, and Larsson. Out comes Ricardo, and a good take.
That's excellent goalkeeping. So confident, read the situation and just came into command. Got the best of balls, to be fair, from Paul Lambert. Duda.
Agathe challenge, won the ball against Pedro Santos. He didn't like it. But that time it is a free kick against John Hartson, who's furious with the awards.
That's a great challenge, first of all, from Didier Agathe. But John Hartson, as soon as the referee gives the free kick against him, he can't show the dissent that he's shown. He's going to put himself under pressure with a silly yellow card.
He was frustrated though about the Santos dive, which was fairly obvious, one would have thought, to embellish the effects of the challenge of Hartson. Larsson, with Hartson just behind him. Now Lamberts and Lennon. That's a good pass, finds its way through to Henrik Larsson. Now Petrov, and he tried to chip that over the head of Martelinho, and then tried again, twice failed. I think Alan Thompson wanted that played to his feet.
He did. Petrov had more time than they realised, could have took a touch and then made the pass.
Mistake by Valgaeren, let in Silva. Mjallby clears. Agathe has a free kick, which doesn't go down too well with the home support. You wouldn't expect it to.
Well, I think this is a free kick. You can see Didier Agathe being pulled back there.
Pacheco's team reached the second phase of the Champions League last season. They went through with Liverpool. No doubting what they can do on the big stage. Balde's free kick. John Hartson's jump. Larsson with the instant control. Back for Lambert. Early ball in for Alan Thompson. And Martelinho nipped in front of him, but at the expense of the first corner of the game.
Good play from Celtic. John Hartson again showing the strength, the power in the air to initially set up the pass for Lambert. And Alan Thompson could maybe have just got in a bit early and attacked the ball at the back post.
In from Petrov. Balde tried to get his head to it, but it's in the safe hands of Ricardo.
This one from his training ground. Stilian Petrov trying to find Bobo Balde near post. Just too much on the ball.
And Rob Douglas hasn't seen too much of the ball at the other end from Ricardo. It's the birthday boy, 31 today, and I think we know what he wants for his birthday. Another good challenge from Lambert, but he's hurt himself. Both players grounded, both in need of attention, and with a quarter of an hour goal, let's hear from Chick, who's just behind the Celtic dugouts.
Yeah, beside me, George Edér, of course, who knows Celtic so well, who knows Portuguese football so well. George, what do you think of the opening 50 minutes or so?
I think the Boavista try pushing Celtic to don't let make the good attack and can score the goals in the first 15 minutes.
It's important, isn't it, if Celtic can just keep it calm and not lose a goal, maybe the fans here will get a little unsettled.
Yeah, because it's important to Celtic to score one goal, and to Boavista only don't take goals.
Let me put you in the spot. Do you think Celtic will go through tonight?
I think because I think Boavista can take whole game to try pushing Celtic in back. Maybe more 20 minutes and Celtic will take the midfielder.
Thanks, George. A little problem there for Paul Lambert. Rob will give you an update on his condition just a moment or two right beside Martelinho at the Celtic bench, but I think Lambert's okay.
Yeah, sore one for Silva as well, sore one for Lambert, but so typical of the Celtic captain that his first reaction was to jump straight back to his feet. Then he realised he had a painful ankle knock, but it'll take a lot to keep Lambert out of this.
It's a good challenge for Paul Lambert. Showed good leadership qualities. Henrik Larsson that time taking a knock.
The challenge from Ávalos, the Argentinian defender. He's another man who doesn't want to see another yellow card because he's at 4 already in Europe, and he had 6 fouls given against him in the first leg of this tie. In from Alan Thompson, up goes Bobo Balde unchallenged. Stilian Petrov has the chance, took too long to get it under control. Lambert wide for Agathe. That's a great ball in from Didier Agathe. Ricardo chooses to punch. Celtic have it back with Lambert. Agathe into the feet of John Hartson. Edér clears. Stilian Petrov had a real opportunity at the edge of the area, needed quicker control, and the chance was gone because he was very quickly then charged down.
Yeah, it was a chance for Petrov, but again, the real threat. This Petrov's chance here, just too long. His first touch wasn't the best, allowed the defenders to close him down to block the shot, but just before that to create that opportunity, Bobo Balde, marvellous weight header inside the box again. The set pieces could be Celtic's route to victory tonight.
Ricardo's long kick out Balde there, and Lambert picks up the pieces in front of the Celtic defence, and under pressure from Loja, knocks the ball out of play, and he's not moving freely, as you can see, after that clash with Silva. And that's played in far too close to the keeper, and an easy catch for Rob Douglas.
It's an easy ball for Big Rob. I'm pretty certain that Celtic will be quite happy at Boavista keep playing high, long balls forward. The big three at the back, plus the goalkeeper, are more than capable of coping.
Another free kick given against another challenge on John Hartson, and it was Luíz Pedrosa who was climbing up on the Welshman's back.
I don't think he can have any complaints there, Pedrosa. John Hartson just holding his ground, the big defender over the top of him.
Interesting, Sandy, when I was looking at the statistic today for Stilian Petrov's goals, he's only scored twice in 2003 and maybe has got a little bit of a lack of confidence.
I think that's the way he's playing, Rob. He doesn't seem the bright personality he was earlier in the season. But there's so much at stake here, he's got to forget everything and have a real go.
Another set-piece opportunity for Alan Thompson. Curled it in looking for Johan Mjallby's run, but the ball skidded away from him. It's been raining today in Portugal and the ball is liable to skid.
I think if Alan Thompson just puts a little bit more on the ball, plays it to the back post area, you don't have to score with the first header. Balde showed earlier, he'll win the ball, he'll get it across the goals, and that's maybe the best chance of sticking it in the back of the net.
Balde against Silva, only one winner. Now Agathe. It's a powerful run, but he overran it at the end. And it's out of Johan Mjallby and Boavista's throw. Pedro Santos, 2 red cards in the Superliga this season for him, and 3 yellow cards in Europe. And that looks to me like another bit of theatricals from Pedro Santos, winning a free kick given against Neil Lennon.
There certainly wasn't too much in it. Neil Lennon hasn't touched them at all. It's 8.9 for the dive in, isn't it? There's maybe just slight contact, but it's not deliberate.
He clipped his knee, but there was really no reason for him to go to ground there. Neil Lennon tells him something along those lines.
I don't think it's too complimentary.
The referee's got to get wise to these ploys from Boavista. The left foot of Pedrosa, and what a waste of a free kick.
I think Grab will be happy with that one. He's never going to beat the big fella from there. As you say, it's a waste.
He fired it straight into that big banner behind Rob Douglas's goal, which is replacing the stand which used to be there, and in preparation for the new one which is about to be completed in time for the European Championships next summer. Martelinho took too long in playing that pass. Stilian Petrov was very quickly on top of him. Martelinho again, this time Henrik Larsson closing down very quickly. Celtic playing the pressure game, and Jimmy Pacheco on the bench there, the former Portuguese midfield star of the World Cup in '86. What's Martelinho making of the old trick?
Well, he was raging about that last challenge, the free kick that Boavista got, Rob, but he's been pretty calm, just encouraging Neil Lennon just to sit in a little bit deeper. He's encouraging Agathe to get forward down the right side, but I think he's pretty satisfied with what he's seen in the opening spell from Celtic. Obviously need the goal, but he's been pretty calm, and that's not like him.
That'll change. Mjallby to Lennon. Stilian Petrov used this body so well to hold off the challenge of Anunciação, and then wins the free kick. That's good play from Petrov.
That's much better, much more determination there from the Bulgarian. Determined to get there, gets in front of the defender, gets across him, forcing the free kick.
I mentioned Petrov's 2 goals in 2003. And of course, one of them was against Stuttgart, rather important. The 3rd goal that night at Celtic Park. Thompson to Larsson, got the head flick, in goes Jocivalter, wondering if he can get one in the right net, having flicked one past Rob Douglas 2 weeks back.
It's a good free kick again. Henrik Larsson wins the ball. Goalkeeper sharp off his line though.
That's a great turn by Duda, and he was away, and he was taken out, and Boavista have a free kick. He turned between Mjallby and Lambert there.
Good play from Duda, good touch, good strength. Mjallby doing the wise thing after the free kick. It's certainly a free kick, no doubt about that one, but Mjallby gets himself well out the road.
Celtic have been running the show in the first 25 minutes, and they don't want to lose their grip. Pedrosa takes a very lengthy run up, struck it fairly powerfully, but it was always rising too much for him, and Rob Douglas always looked pretty comfortable there.
It's very ambitious from Pedrosa. I would be very surprised if the Scottish international's goalkeeper loses a goal from that type of distance. It must be almost 40 yards out. It wasn't far away.
It's 29 years since Celtic were last in the European semi-finals. That was in the European Cup of 1974 against Atletico Madrid. And of course, you have to go 4 years further back for Celtic's last European final appearance. Can the history books be rewritten? Celtic have piled a lot of effort into the opening stages here in Portugal, and Boavista having to play second best so far, but it's still goalless, and the advantage still lies with Boavista, courtesy of the away goal they scored in Glasgow in the first leg.
Certainly don't have any option, Rob. They have to play this way. They have to continually push forward with the hope of scoring the important opening goal.
Spectacular overhead kick from Duda. It was Balde against Silva, the back heel, and again Mjallby dispenses with any frills and just thumps the ball out of play.
Don't take any chances here. Paul Lambert's just catching Duda.
Erivan's ball into the box, headed away by Balde. Henrik Larsson, good play, holding off the challenge of Edér. And it's Celtic's throw. And the Boavista supporters pretty quiet so far. They haven't had an awful lot to shout about. Larsson using his body well against Edér, but he stretched out a boot to clear. Mjallby to Petrov, that's good control from Stilian Petrov. Poor pass that time from Mjallby, straight at Silva. Back from Martelinho to Ricardo, the current Portuguese number 1. Big Phil fancies him over Vitor Baia. Jocivalter, who wants to wipe away the memory of that own goal in the first leg. Looking for the shooting opportunity was Erivan. Valgaeren clears up to Larsson. It's well won by Pedrosa, and he's not shy, is he, at having a shot at goal.
He likes a shot, doesn't he? Good play from the big defender. Wins the ball in the middle of the park. Only one thought in his mind: I'm going to drive forward, take the space, and doesn't matter what distance he's out, he wants to have a goal.
Check, what does George make of it all?
George, I was wondering what you think going through the mind of the Portuguese coach at the moment.
Jaime think about concentration and don't let the Celtic play the game, because if we let space to Larsson or to another player, maybe it's bad things to go happen.
That's the voice of George Cadet down at the touchline, the former Celtic striker, and he's recently declared his undying love for the club, and he got a little bit of treatment from the Boavista supporters pre-match as he made his way in. They're not too impressed. The former Portuguese international striker, of course. Larsson's touch. Lambert does well to move it on to Agathe. Turns infield away from Duda. Now Petrov didn't get a good first touch. Erivan pushes forward, and it's good backtracking from Petrov, and it was Balde who intercepted. Celtic playing well, but needing a breakthrough. Looking for the goal, which changes the complexion of the tie. Mjallby looking for Hartson, but it didn't get that far. Balde this time, and not happy with the late challenge of Silva. And you have to remember as well that Jimmy Pacheco's side have finished off their UEFA Cup ties 4 out of 5 by a 1-0 scoreline on their home patch. Never much to spare, but they've managed it in their 5 UEFA Cup matches against Maccabi Tel Aviv, Anorthosis of Cyprus, PSG and Hertha, both those games on away goals, and then of course they beat Malaga in the quarter-finals on penalties. They've squeaked through, and they've done it 5 out of 5, looking to make it 6 out of 6. Duda lays it back. The high hanging cross is no great problem at all, and well might Maria Loja shake his head. It was poor.
They haven't caused Celtic a lot of problems at all. It was the same at Celtic back. I just don't think they're a great team. Boavista, they're not in the same class as Liverpool, Stuttgart, Celta Vigo, Blackburn. And Celtic, if they just get the break tonight, they work hard enough, I'm pretty certain they can get the goal, and that might be enough to get them through.
The Boavista fans turning up the volume. They've been quiet, they've been kept quiet so far by Celtic. It's been a controlled performance from Martin O'Neill's team, looking for that little spark in front of goal. That's a desperate clearance from Pedro Santos. No great composure about Boavista at the moment. They're under the cosh, and there's maybe a sign too of a player not on hot form at the moment, Stilian Petrov, but Jimmy Pacheco has got problems with half an hour gone.
They can't get in the game, Rob. It's as simple as that. Celtic have stopped them playing, and Celtic they haven't created a lot of chances. I still feel that set pieces could be their best opportunity.
You're watching the big match live on BBC Scotland. We've been with Celtic virtually every step of the way, but Celtic may have a problem, Chick.
I think there's a problem with Paul Lambert. Martin O'Neill is just bringing on Chris Sutton. In fact, he's just confirmed that as he looked around there. As Chris Sutton went for a warm-up, they've got a problem in the middle of the park. Chris Sutton will be coming on, Rob, and I think it's Paul Lambert whose action in this game is over.
Well, maybe what Celtic need is more firepower, and Chris Sutton, I think, will be on within the next minute or two. And Paul Lambert has never really fully recovered from that tussle with Silva. He took a knock on the ankle.
He's hobbling, Rob, there's no question about that, and it's a wise move. If he's not right, you've got to get him off. You've got to be at full strength for this game. And Chris Sutton, when he comes on, that's another aerial threat for the Portuguese to deal with.
Still not moving freely, Paul Lambert. But the mistakes being made in the midfield by Boavista, a lot of uncertainty about their performance so far. Not the fluency Jimmy Pacheco wants. Erivan squares it to Anunciação. Now Martelinho. Boavista threatening, and Mjallby head flicked that to safety. And Celtic have successfully played the game up the pitch since the start, and they want to keep it that way. Paul Lambert flicks the ball out, and a shake of his hand towards Martin O'Neill confirms that his match is over, and Chris Sutton is getting himself ready for action. And if you have to lose Lambert, then you couldn't ask for a better quality replacement. That's Agathe. Lambert still involved, but he's becoming less and less mobile, and Celtic in a hurry to make the change, because at the moment they're carrying a passenger in Lambert. Duda against Valgaeren, and there was a push on Valgaeren by the Brazilian, and it's a free kick. He's agitated, Martin O'Neill, because he wants to get the substitution made.
It's a silly challenge, Rob, from Duda there. Valgaeren's under a lot of pressure from a coach's point of view. Ricardo feels the same thing. You just don't do that. You don't take the pressure off the defender by giving them that just little nudge. This man coming on, Chris Sutton, he'll create different problems for the Portuguese. It'll also mean a change for Stilian Petrov. That man there, Paul Lambert, he doesn't go off easily. He's been playing very well recently. He'll be a big loss, but hopefully Sutton will be the plus.
Chris Sutton has missed 6 games with a broken wrist. 17 goals already this season, and remember those all-important Uefa Cup goals, as we see how Paul Lambert was hurt prior to having to be substituted. Remember those Sutton goals against Blackburn and against Stuttgart, both away from home, both vital. Martin O'Neill has made the change now. And at set pieces like this, Sutton adds to Celtic's scoring threat. In from Thompson, and it was aimed at Sutton. Boavista got it clear. Now with Duda, poor pass. Good cut out from Agathe. But it wasn't the ball Henrik Larsson wanted.
It's the final ball that's so important. Chris Sutton, we see him here getting involved right away. And maybe the plus is, oh watch this, he falls right on that arm. That wrist has just been badly damaged. There's no reaction to it, so hopefully he's 100% fit now.
And Paul Lambert gets some ice on his right ankle. And one wonders, of course, at this moment whether Paul Lambert will have a chance of featuring on Sunday in the Old Firm match. He may well be a doubt for that already. Strong defending from Balde. That was Agathe, now Sutton. Anunciação with another aimless pass. There have been plenty of them in this first half from Boavista. Very unimpressive, we would have to say. But they do have striking power up front, and the two Brazilians, Duda and Silva, if they can get some supply to them. Duda on the ball, squares it, and the shot goes wide from Pedro Santos. It's sliced off the outside of his boots.
It was always going wide. Brad Douglas would have got there in time if necessary. That's the first real credit Boavista across Celtic. I just don't feel Rob they're a great team at all. You're saying they're not playing well, they're not fluent. That's because they don't really have great quality. They're strong, they're well organised, they're a decent team, and that's the best you can say about them.
It's a match Celtic should win if it's down to pure quality. But is it a match Celtic will win? They need a goal. That's got to be a foul for the challenge on Thompson. And of course more live football coming away this weekend. The big one at Ibrox, Rangers against Celtic. Can Celtic claw back 3 points, or will Rangers take another step towards the title? It's live on the BBC on Sunday from 12:20. BBC One Scotland. The big matches just keep on coming on this channel, be it BBC One or BBC Two. Martin O'Neill happy with the way his team has performed, but cautious as well about allowing Boavista back into it. They've been squeezed out of it completely so far.
The referee gives a free kick here. I really don't see much in that one at all. Silva thinks the referee's right.
The left foot of Erivan, and that's yet another poor delivery into the box from Boavista. Quite incredible. Duda and Silva really haven't had a look in so far, because Boavista have got nothing up to them.
There's no service to them. You know, as we said at the start of the game, Boavista, they're quite happy sitting with 5 defenders, making life difficult for Celtic. They're not too concerned at all about going forward. That's why these strikers have been very little to play with.
That's got to be a foul on Chris Sutton by Filipe Anunciação, who was red carded at the weekend.
He's over the top of Sutton again there, Anunciação. Arm in his back. It's a chance now to get the big guys up, get Bobo Balde up. It's going to be a good ball from Neil Lennon, give him a chance to win the first ball.
Neil Lennon plays it in, looking for Chris Sutton, who was trying to wrestle himself clear. He was being held, not much doubt about that, in the penalty box. Valentin Ivanov wasn't interested.
I don't think the referee's ever going to give a penalty kick for that, Rob. The two of them are arms everywhere. Chris Sutton trying to take advantage, but it would have been soft if awarded.
Balde won that header against Silva, as we take another angle on Chris Sutton's wrestling match with Anunciação. I think there's a half Nelson they call that.
Well, I don't know, you might follow wrestling, I don't. What amazes me is Bobo Balde's so strong in the air. He goes up for all these set pieces and they don't play the ball to him for some reason. I don't know if it's maybe the decoy.
No free kick against a stiff challenge from Sutton. Erivan plays it in, and again it's beyond Silva and Duda. No great problem for Rob Douglas, but Boavista do have a problem with a player down injured, needing some treatment. We're in the 40th minute, and it's still 0-0 in the Bessa Stadium, and it's Pedrosa who'll need some attention. Let's hear from Chick.
I just wonder what George Cadet thinks of the game so far. George, how do you think this is progressing?
It's a game. It's like a midfield game. Always you can see the game play in the midfielder. Always so far from the goals. And it's not easy to play like.
Will the Portuguese coach be happy with what he's seen from his team?
Yes, of course. It's a good score to the Boavista. 0-0. It's very good.
Thanks, George.
That's a good point from George Cadet, isn't it? Because Boavista might be getting outplayed by Celtic. The visitors are in control and running the show, if not creating enough chances, but the scoreline still favours the home team here.
It suits them, but no doubt about that. And Ricardo, the goalkeeper, is Henrik Larsson's the only one that's looked as if he could cause him a problem. Shot from 6 yards, couldn't get on target, but other than that, it's 1 or 2 cross balls which he's dealt with without any real problem.
Lennon to Thompson. Inside the last 5 minutes of the first half, with Chris Sutton, Paul Lambert's replacement. Gets it again from Agathe. 3 Boavista players swarming around Sutton, one of them Duda. Anunciação tried to flick it between Agathe and Sutton, then screamed for handball, not given. Long ball from Alan Thompson. Hartson chases it, Edér heads clear. Chris Sutton very quickly onto it, and that was a foul against Erivan as he lost possession. He tugged at the midfielder's shirt.
No question about this one. This is the early one hand ball maybe against Chris Sutton there. Just the one hand.
I think that's okay, isn't it? Under UEFA rules.
Yeah, but that's the free kick eventually against Erivan.
Here's another chance to see the telephone number for our Man of the Match competition, 0900 10 225. You could win a new Game Boy SP. Who's going to be the man of the match? Balde's powerful header clear. Now with Anunciação. And it's flicked on to Martelinho. A long cross, and it's too long for the 2 Brazilians in the middle.
Easy one for Big Rab to come and collect. Under no pressure whatsoever. Again, it's back to the quality of the delivery. Very poor.
Petrov. Balde, it's beyond John Hartson. Edér with time to clear it, but Celtic have had the lion's share of the possession, and every loose ball in the midfield seems to have been theirs. Agathe hasn't had one of his famous runs down the right, looking for him to use his power and his pace, and it hasn't happened often enough, Sandy.
He started the game well, Rob, but he hasn't seen an awful lot of the ball since then. That's frustration from Duda Agathe. But give the Portuguese credit from that angle, but they try to stop Celtic getting down the wide areas.
Mistake by Jocivalter. Martelinho makes a great run beyond Balde. Silva in the middle. Rob Douglas makes the save. Balde picks up the pieces, and that was almost a classic sucker punch.
It's the first time Celtic have been under pressure. It's close to the slip. It's a decent ball for Martelinho.
And I wonder how much encouragement that will offer to Boavista. Anunciação kept out by Lennon. Just 2 minutes of regulation time left in this first half. Martelinho gets it back. Alan Thompson got himself in the way. Erivan in central midfield. Loja. Duda holding off Mjallby. Edér, this is the furthest forward he's been, and it was an all-consuming challenge from Johan Mjallby. which the Boavista striker didn't care for too much, but what a good run, a lung-bursting run from Martelinho, and Silva's header looked goal-bound when Rob Douglas made the save.
It's a hard one for to defend against, and Silva just gets a touch to it. I think Rob Douglas keeps his eye on the ball, managing to get there, but no backup from the Portuguese after Douglas touches the ball. A little bit late there from Mjallby, but I think the ball was out of the field of play before the tackle was made.
What's your assessment of the first half, Sandy?
I think Martelinho will be reasonably happy, Rob, with the way his team have played, but they haven't created enough clear-cut chances. They've had lots of possession, dominated the game for spells, don't look as if they're going to lose anything, but at this moment in time really don't look as if they're going to score either. So they've just got to up the pace a little bit more care with the final pass, a little bit more penetration if they're going to get the Loja opening goal.
Celtic need a little bit more invention, a few more ideas, a little bit more spark in the final third if they're to break the deadlock, as they must do here, because don't forget a 0-0 scoreline takes Boavista through to the UEFA Cup final. So far they have successfully held out, and we've played 45 minutes. Into stoppage time at the end of this first half, and one last chance for Alan Thompson to get the ball into the box, but that's not his best effort. We've added 25 seconds to the 45 minutes at the moment, and a minute and a half left of the first half. Lennon fires it towards the penalty box, but Pedrosa was there. Now it's Pedro Santos. It's a great run from Santos. And finally, Neil Lennon gets himself in the way. That was terrific covering from Lennon, as Santos threatened to go all the way. Chris Sutton's pass, Henrik Larsson's after it, and Edér takes a dive, looking for the free kick.
I think he's got the free kick. Great run here from Santos, goes beyond the Celtic defenders, real pace, power. He's unlucky, stumbles just a little bit there, allowing Neil Lennon the chance to come across and sweep up danger. Not a lot of touch there from Henrik Larsson. Edér certainly came down very easily.
Yeah, Jimmy Pacheco's team know all about turning it on to win a free kick, and they've done it with fair regularity, and Valentin Ivanov has been taken in seemingly every time. Mjallby down the line, and no great frills about that either, as we look again at Mjallby's aerial tussle with Silva, who didn't get off the ground. Johan Mjallby certainly did, and he's now wearing the captain's armband, of course, in Paul Lambert's absence. Half-time in Oporto, and still goalless, which pleases Jamie Pacheco. The scoreline satisfying for Ricardo and company, if not the performance. Henrik Larsson had a chance on 9 minutes to fire Celtic in front. That was the best chance of the first half. Chris Sutton had a placement for the injured Paul Lambert. 0-0 halfway through.
Yes, and it's just as difficult as we all suspected that it would be. Our regular European team are in place here in the studio, Paul Elliott and Gordon Smith. It's a stadium with only two sides, Paul. There's only one side really trying to win this one, isn't there?
Absolutely. I mean, they're probably the least talented side I've probably seen Celtic play, to be honest with you. It's reflected in the way they play. They work extremely hard, they're tough, they're physical, they hunt in packs all over the pitch. They're not offering much in a creative sense. They're working extremely hard to stifle Celtic when they're in possession of the ball. But I just feel that Celtic territorially clearly dominating the game in terms of possession. Got to show a bit more variation. Get into good positions for the first 20 minutes. Agathe looks sharp, wanting to penetrate, but then they've wised up a little bit and they're doubling up on both sides of the pitch. I need to see a bit more from Petrov. He's got to work harder, free himself from the marker, create more movement. But I sense that if Celtic could just up that tempo, show a bit more self-belief in their game, and that the quality of the final ball's got to be important, then I still think they can win this game.
Boavista are exactly what we expected them to be, Gordon. They're the same side they were at Celtic Park. As Paul says, they're limited, they're not terribly creative, but they're hard to break down, they're hard to beat.
Yeah, and I think if you're Celtic and you're a fan watching at home just now, you'd be disappointed at how they're not doing that. The Celtic, I think, have lost their way as this game's going on. I think the first half they started well. They looked as if they're going to get Thompson, Agathe in the game. Agathe looked sharp. They were playing the ball through the midfield at that stage, trying to work openings and then play it in. But in the end up, I think that for the last 20 minutes, most of Celtic's attacks have just constructed with a long ball. It's just been a big punt forward. And the Portuguese have been winning it, and it's come back on top of Celtic. And I think Boavista are playing better football now and coming more into it. I think they're getting confidence, deriving confidence in the fact that Celtic are not playing too well. And I think that Celtic need to step up. I mean, it's a massive game. They know they've got to score tonight, but they don't look like scoring after that initial period.
Yeah, it's been disappointing because the first 20 minutes, as the lads were saying, it's been very, very impressive. Henrik Larsson was definitely a threat early on, as you would always expect him to be, Gordon, without ever making the final break. I think actually Celtic have only ever had, I think it's only one shot in goal in the first 45 minutes, and that's a damning statistic, isn't it?
It's probably the least effective away performance so far, and we all felt that, Boavista are not a good side, but this is the kind of thing that's been happening. I think Larsson's been Celtic's best player in this game. I feel that his movement's been good, he's been working hard, his touch has been fine when the ball's been coming to him, but I don't think there's an awful lot of support, and he's not getting clear-cut chances. One effort, and this is the one he had, and he didn't make a good job of it. Maybe he had taken a touch, he brought the ball down there, he might have done better.
Yeah,
but
Edér did a good touch.
Done well though, didn't he? I think he read the situation well, noticed the danger, come across and got a good strong footing and diverted it away. But we're just looking for more from Celtic. It's only because they've created a good expectation of the manner of some of the victories in the past. For Liverpool, obviously, Celta Vigo, Stuttgart, and we want more of that. They're there for the taking, Boavista. There is no doubt about that. And I think if they can get a goal within 10 or 15 minutes, they'll grow in confidence, grow in self-belief, and then go on and finish them off.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, Paul, but having said that, the last 3 rounds they've won in away goals twice and penalty. That's the way they win matches. They
just grind. They're not ambitious, are they? They're not ambitious in their build-up play. I mean, the midfield, they're basically playing 3-5-2, same way Celtic's playing. None of the midfield men really break forward and create that extra man and support the front two, Duda, Silva.
They'll take nothing each tonight, won't they?
They'll be delighted with that. They'll sit there. But now, the onus is now on Celtic. Celtic have got to play like the home team. They've got to go out and be clinical, be ruthless, up the tempo, show more variation in their game, and really take the game to the opposition. Because, as you say, they're happy to sit there and contain and hit on the counter-attack.
But Celtic need a goal, so therefore they've got to create more pressure.
Absolutely.
I thought they would be better from set pieces. There are a lot of free kicks even there. They've even got an end of their own free kicks. They've knocked in the box, and the Boavista players are winning them in aerial battles against players.
They've got a strong physical advantage, haven't they, with the back three now. You've got Sutton, you've got Larsson,
you've got Hartson.
You've got 6 good players who can compete for the ball. Get the ball, get some quality into the box.
Yeah, Boavista were under pressure, there's no doubt about it, particularly early in the half, and they survived it. They avoided losing the early goal, which was obviously what Celtic were looking for. And this is a little passage of play here. The goalkeeper Ricardo, who we know is a good keeper, looked a bit of struggled a little bit when the ball comes in from the wing here, but this was a good passage of play for Celtic, Gordon.
Well, in the early part of the game they were getting the ball in the box, and that was their best spell. A bit unorthodox goalkeeping there, not too clever. But Petrov, look at the way they closed down. That's
great defending, isn't it?
Well, absolutely.
They're throwing their life at the ball, just defending it and stopping them from playing.
Absolutely. There's a couple of examples as well when the ball went wide. Agathe, who all of a sudden they recognised a threat, he picked up the ball, and 2 people just come across right away and shot off the line. He can't go down the line. He's having to cut inside. So you have to say they're doing their job well. They know what they want to do. They stop the opposition playing. But Celtic can do a lot more than they're doing so far in this game. I don't think they've played well at all.
Yeah, they're going to have to do a lot more, of course. They need a goal. They need to, if not win the match, draw it by more than 1 each to get through to the final of the UEFA Cup. As you know, Chick Young has been joined at tonight's match by George Cadet, former Celtic favourite. Here's what they make of it at half-time. Chick.
George, it's been a fine performance by Boavista in that first half. Do you think, what would you want to do with Celtic in the second half to change it?
Celtic, if you want to play in Sevilla, must be play more attack, and now is 3 strikers in the field. Need more cross, more service, but have more 45 minutes. Must be calm, but need play more.
Have you been surprised by the fact that Boavista have gone so fast, has gone so far in this tournament?
It's a Boavista job. It's try put Celtic in the midfielder, try make so far from the goal, and don't let Celtic play. It's a Boavista job. It's try make all the game.
Thanks very much, George.
Thanks, fellas. 0-0 at half-time. In fact, Boavista have come closest to scoring in the first half. Pedrosa is, if you like, the Lorenzo Amoruso of the Portuguese league. He has a shot from distance. 9 out of 10 hits Rose Ed, perhaps, but the 10th one will hit the back of the net, won't it, Paul?
No, I thought that was going towards Socky Hall Street, to be quite honest with you. But no, it was always rising. I mean, I thought technically he's probably been one of their better players. I've always liked him. And this is where they get a little bit more ambitious. Everything's from long range though, isn't it? They've not really had any effect on Celtic's rearguard because they've not shown that much ambition as far as I'm concerned.
Well, that just the ones to go through in the header, obviously, to save. But you know, they've had a few long range shots, but you know, Celtic are comfortable if that's what they're going to be restricted to. Then you're happy to take that. But then all of a sudden, you know, Celtic gave away the ball and there was a chance for Boavista, and you know, they've had a better chance than Celtic have had in the game as well. So as I say, Celtic need to be careful. They don't want to lose the first goal in this game because then it becomes a real uphill battle.
Pedro Santos has done some wonderful diving. He's conned the referee a few times, we reckon. He's another one who's had a shot from distance, which you've got to be so careful about because one of these might just hit the back of the net. This is Santos here.
Well, it is a bit ambitious. I mean, he's just looking for his opening when he gets forward here, and he gets it, and you just see him cutting inside here. Good shot. I mean, it's not on target, but it's got good power in it. And at that one stage, I think, well, that's all they've been restricted to right until that point. That was probably the best effort. So, but then they did have the opportunities we spoke about.
That's right. I mean, Rob Douglas is not really going to be troubled, you would hope, from shots from that distance, Paul. But he did produce the save of the match so far, just towards half-time. This was the closest thing to a goal. And Useful Haran, I think, had a couple of slip-ups here down that left-hand side, which I'm going to have to be careful about.
I mean, he's been mainly redundant, isn't he? But Martelinho picks up the ball here. It's a great penetrating run into the box, skips past Balde. Good movement by Silva, gets in front of Mjallby and pulls off a good save, good concentration. Luckily, there was no other midfield player or forward player in the box following up. But he does keep his eye on it, and that was their real first opportunity inside the box. So he does wonderfully well here, in all fairness. But there's nobody following up.
It's quite interesting. And all three centre-backs, they all failed to do their job there. Valgaeren lost the ball. Balde committed himself to the challenge and was skinned totally. And then Johan Mjallby's marking Silva as he goes in the box and doesn't get there. So, you know, three centre-backs, and Rob Douglas has pulled him out there with the save. But that was the only real effort they had close in. But it could have easily resulted in a goal. And I say it's very important tonight. Celtic, we know have got to score, but it's very important to get the first goal in. And I think if they get the first goal in, it'll settle them. It'll unsettle Boavista. I think the game could turn on that, and Celtic could score again if they get the first goal. But they've got to do that.
Yeah, well, that's got to come. It's 0-0 at half-time, and in the final of the UEFA Cup, the winners of tonight's match will play either Lazio or Porto. One would think it would be Porto, of course. 4-1 up from the first leg. They're in Rome tonight, where Lazio were selling tickets at under £1 a time in the hope that would fill the Olympic Stadium with 70,000 fans to try to put the Portuguese under pressure. Here's how it's gone in the first 45 minutes with Steve Wilson.
Delay. Manicha arriving, Helder Postiga. Manicha. Kept in play. Claudio Lopez, mistake from the left back. And then a tumble inside the penalty area from Inzaghi. They've got a corner, it was sloppy from Nuno Valente. Decent ball in by Claudio Lopez. Inzaghi felt he was fouled by George Costa. And Gilles Fessier shows a yellow card to each and a red card to each, and Helder Postiga and Cesar are both sent off.
No goals and 10 aside in the second half. It's still looking good for Porto for a place in the final. Thousands of Celtic fans, of course, have already booked their travel to Seville on May the 21st, hoping that Celtic will be involved, and we've got a competition which will allow you to join them. A chance to be at the UEFA Cup final in Seville next month. All you have to do is identify the scorers. they're going to have to score. It's goalless in Porto at half-time. It's not been the best of starts for Celtic. We had hoped for a first-half goal, Gordon. As you said, they've just lost a little bit of momentum. Where's the goal going to come from?
I think they have. I would expect with it having Sutton on now, it looks like, you know, maybe even a set piece or something like that, but they've got to get better delivery in from the set pieces. But it's not been that bad. I just think they need to be challenging for it. John Hartson started off challenging and been involved in a few scuffles with the Boavista players, and then he's not getting on the end of anything now, even the long balls up the field.
Would you look for more from Petrov?
Definitely, I agree with Paul. I think that Petrov has been very quiet in the game. He's trying to come into a little bit more. Looks like Sutton is actually just going into Paul Lambert's position rather than playing where you think he'd be more effective, maybe just off the strikers. I think Martin O'Neill's decided just to stick with the system at the moment, and then maybe I think as the game goes on, I think if they need a goal, he'll start to make a few changes and push Sutton maybe into a more forward position, maybe even pushing him right up front, because John Hartson's certainly fallen out of the game a little bit. So I think there's changes maybe to be made at a later stage, but they need to try and get Agathe, Thompson further up the field to get the crosses in. I know it's hard for them, but even if they're laying it back and somebody else is putting the ball in the box, they need to get better delivery in there because they've got to create chances.
Yeah, that's been the real strength in Celtic's away performances, hasn't it, Paul?
Yeah.
Getting wide, getting good service.
It's been the two wide men, and I think for 20 minutes, Agathe in particular looked on fire. He looked quick, sharp, mentally very alert, really wanted to dominate and really impose himself on his opposite marker. But what they've done there, they've doubled up now on both sides of the pitch, and they're forcing them infield. So obviously where it's very, very congested, there's a lot of bodies, and obviously that's the important aspect to Celtic's game. And when they're not doing that, it's so important. That's when they need a bit more variation, a bit more movement, in particularly from Petrov to come short, run away from his marker, get behind the front man, just to generally make himself more available, because it's very tight and very compact in the midfield.
Yeah, they're tough. They're a decent side, Boavista. They're very hard to beat. They don't create much, but they have come closest to scoring in that first 45 minutes. It's just towards the end of the half. The slip by Jocivalter. And, well, Douglas saved the jerseys here, Gordon, as we said.
That's the thing. You see Bobo Balde committing himself there, but, Rob Douglas keeps alert and, gets his hands to Bobo Balde, gets back in play then and clears it quite calmly. But, I'm surprised even to see Johan Mjallby beaten at near post there. You've got to be very alert in these situations. You've got to keep your concentration. I think even Josh Cadet said that word, it's about concentration if you're playing at that level, because in a split second you can find yourself a goal down.
Yeah. Would you still feel at this moment, Paul, that Celtic can do it?
Absolutely. I mean, I'm still very, very positive, because I think there's a lot more to come. I think it's given Martin O'Neill a chance to have a good talk with them, and now I think they've got to go out and start the game in a positive fashion, raise that tempo back up.
That's what Martin O'Neill will be saying
absolutely,
to them, isn't it? Yeah.
Go for the juggler. Let's go for it. They've got nothing to lose now. Celtic only know one way, and that is to play offensive, attacking football, and they've got to play that way to ensure they get the result.
All right, we need a little bit of the spirit of Anfield, the spirit of Ewood Park. Celtic need to score. 1-0 would do, one each would take us into extra time. It's all going to come down to those second 45 minutes. Let's go back live and rejoin Sandy and Rob.
A lot of excitement currently among football fans in Portugal, looking forward to the finals of the European Championships next summer. The national team beat Brazil last month, and they hope it will be an all-Portuguese final of the Uefa Cup. John Hartson and Henrik Larsson and Chris Sutton all hope otherwise, but never before have two teams from the one city appeared in a European final. Boavista will feel, with one look at the scoreline, that they are halfway there, and of course Porto that huge advantage against Lazio in the other semi-final. Celtic need a goal, they have to go for it, and they need to begin again creating chances. They were a big threat early on in the first half with the link up between Hartson and Larsson, but first half fizzled out really in terms of chances created.
It did, Rob, and Celtic have got to start the second half the right ways. The lads in the studio were saying they really have to go for it.
And that's dodgy defending, which almost let in Boavista right after the restart. Mjallby and Valgaeren both looking uncertain, and that was almost costly.
It's unusual for the Celtic back players to get put under pressure. That's the first time they've been closed down, and they didn't look too comfortable. Probably caught by surprise more than anything else.
There's a lot of tension in the air, not surprisingly, with so much at stake here. In goes Larsson, out comes Ricardo.
He's a good goalkeeper, Ricardo. He's very sharp off his line, looks so confident. And how important can that penalty kick save be at Celtic Park 2 weeks ago?
It could have been 2-1 Celtic, but Ricardo's save from Larsson meant it was 1-1 after that first leg. And that was Ricardo's 4th penalty save in this UEFA Cup campaign, which is quite incredible. Of course, he saved one against Malaga in the penalty shootout in the quarter-finals, and being a bit of a novelty goalkeeper, he scored one as well. Martelinho's pass for Duda, trying to skip away from Valgaeren. He got a decent ball in, and Balde intercepted before Valgaeren cleared. Larsson's header was Pedrosa against Hartson. Free kick given against the Celtic striker. The referee not happy. That he was allegedly backing into Pedrosa.
I don't think Pedrosa's too happy either. But Boavista Robo started the second half very well. They played the Celtic half for the first time in the game. They put Celtic under just a little bit more pressure. You wonder if that's their game plan, try and press the game further up the field and not allow Celtic to get forward and create any opportunities.
I wouldn't fancy taking a poor performance into the dressing room and facing up to that man. Jimmy Pacheco can get himself very angry and upset on the touchline, and he communicates to his players all right. Free kick against Luíz Pedrosa for his challenge on Alan Thompson.
That's the earlier one, John Hartson, Martelinho. Alan Thompson's a little bit fortunate there to get the free kick.
Thompson towards Hartson. Two Boavista players went for it. In came Bobo Balde. Now Agathe loses it. Erivan clears, not too bothered about where it went. He just thumped it down into Celtic half. Better touch from Agathe, and he might well have done some damage there to the home team. Chris Sutton, the substitute. Erivan shut him down quickly. It's good defending from Bobo Balde. The Celtic supporters hoping for one of their biggest ever party nights if their team can reach a European final. Mr. Ivanov gives a free kick against Henrik Larsson.
That was a challenge for the ball. Anunciação is this. Henry just catches him a fraction before he makes contact with the ball there. But again, it's a bit dramatic the way he's gone down.
Yep. Best supporting actor nominations coming up. Anunciação will be high on the list.
I think it suits Boavista to stop the game as often as possible. Don't let Celtic get into a rhythm. That'll be part of the game plan.
Edér's free kick headed away by Mjallby, and Sutton was unceremoniously knocked over by Pedrosa. A three-pronged attack to aim at for Balde. Plays it wide for John Hartson. Celtic have the throw off Pedrosa. Celtic looking to lift their support. Valgaeren's throw. Chris Sutton couldn't get there before Ávalos.
The one thing about Boavista, Rob, they do defend the penalty box very well. They attack the ball inside the box.
Another throw from Valgaeren. And it's cleared by Martelinho. Silva, but the whistle's already gone. The Brazilian claiming he didn't hear it. He is a definite threat to Celtic with 5 European goals already this season, as Ricardo punched clear off the top of the head of Chris Sutton, and there was Silva backing into Mjallby.
Looks a decent player, Rob. Good pace, good first touch at time, strong.
Balde not put off by Silva jumping into him. Larsson's lay off, Sutton, Agathe, and Petrov. You get the feeling Didier Agathe needs an injection of confidence.
I think he's not allowed to go down the outside, Rob. I think the plan from Boavista is to show him inside all the time.
Clever pass, picks out Duda. Valgaeren is there to block. Thompson's header is dangerous, but Neil Lennon clears. It was into a dangerous area from Thompson. Dangerous for Celtic. Valgaeren cuts out the through ball. Lennon to Sutton, can't make it stick. Now Boavista on the attack with Duda. What a pure ball into the box that is, because Anunciação was outside him. Silva wanted it whipped into his feet. It was neither.
He picked the wrong option. Certainly a handball there. That's a break for Boavista. The referee obviously didn't see that one. Picked the wrong option from Duda.
It's maybe not Duda's day.
I wonder how long that would take.
The stopwatch was on, and it shows us here that there's 7.5 minutes gone in the second half, and it's still advantage to Jimmy Pacheco's team. 1-1 in Glasgow, 0-0 so far in Portugal. Chris Sutton wasn't sure where that was. Does well to keep it. Now with Agathe. He was looking for the option of the square pass. No one was there to receive it.
He had nowhere to go, Rob. He was forced inside again. And beside all the white jerseys, makes life difficult for him. But this is the ball in from Duda. Picked the wrong option. And Anunciação was going down the right hand side. Silva had come back a little bit just to play across the 18-yard box. A little bit of disagreement between the Brazilians there.
That's Pedro Santos probing at the Celtic defence. First it was Balde, then Mjallby, and it's Boavista's throw.
I feel as well, Rob, Celtic have to settle down a little bit. Put the foot, they need somebody to put the foot in the ball and make a pass. You know, a telling pass going forward, a wee bit of creativity.
No free kick, despite the roars from the Boavista fans. That's Edér, Sutton, Lennon. Now Valgaeren. Poor pass. Does well to win it back. Atones for his header. And now he's charging forward. That was unlikely to unlock the Boavista defence. And Celtic certainly need that composure, that calmness. Here's John Hartson. Chris Sutton, almost for Hartson, and almost for Valgaeren, who'd stayed forward.
Almost getting a break there, just on the edge of the box. Pedrosa just getting there in time to clear the danger. But you're right, Rob, but just that final pass again, Valgaeren breaking through earlier. Really wasn't too sure what to do. Gave the ball away.
The biggest of prizes awaits the winners. Sutton flicks it in for Larsson. Out comes Ricardo. That's commanding goalkeeping.
The goalkeeper makes up his mind. This is the earlier one here. Valgaeren almost picking up the ball, but that's a great tackle from Pedrosa.
Mjallby's under pressure, but Silva was struggling to get there and did well to hook that away. Duda was there as well, and Mjallby came out on top.
He was very determined there, Johan Mjallby. Had to be, under a lot of pressure.
Valgaeren has knocked that straight out of play. Don't forget our man of the match competition, 0900 10 200 25. A new Game Boy SP is the prize if your choice agrees with Sandy's a few minutes from time up. And let's hope by then Celtic have scored a goal. They need one badly, they have to score, otherwise their European adventure is over. Let's hear from Chick.
What's happened here, Rob, is that Boavista have taken away all the spare balls, the ball boys, and Celtic are playing with one ball, and a complaint has been sent from John Robertson to the fourth official that the Portuguese have just played with one ball now. Obviously they're time-wasting operation, and he's registered a complaint with the fourth official.
Okay, so that's adding to your knowledge, that's happening away from the match action, and Celtic want something done about it. O'Neill, Robertson and Walford. Martin O'Neill, of course, a European Cup winner with Nottingham Forest back in 1980 when Forest beat Hamburg in Madrid. Petrov. How you want Stilian Petrov to recapture his vintage form. That's good defending against Larsson from Ávalos. Poor ball out from defence though, and Balde intercepted. That's an ordinary pass from Valgaeren, which might have him in trouble against this Boavista counter-attack. Duda, Silva, and that's well off targets. That doesn't even hit the corner flag.
I'm not too sure if that's a shot or a cross there. Mário Loja was certainly getting down the left-hand side, but the Celtic fans don't look too happy at this moment in time, and their team are not playing well. It's as simple as that. For me, there's too many long, high, hopeful balls being played forward. They've got to make the pass just a bit crisper, get it through the middle of the park, give the strikers a bit of service, and give them good backup.
There could be a lot of nail nibbling to be done between now and the final whistle, because this match is so delicately balanced. At the moment, it's Jocivalter's own goal in the first leg, which would be decisive were neither team to score here. That's what Jamie Pacheco would settle for happily. Martin O'Neill wants a different scoreline from the second leg. He wants his team to regain the upper hand they had in the first half. He wants them to create chances, but there is noticeably confidence lacking among some of the players. Sutton's pass this time is cut out. Charging back to try to win it back. Duda on the byline. Great ball in. Rob Douglas makes a mistake. And what an opportunity for Boavista to close Celtic out. It was Silva with the golden chance.
It's a magnificent opportunity. Rob Douglas just doesn't get there. Actually helps the Portuguese because he touches the ball on, and Mjallby just hits him more than anything else. Douglas plays it to the striker. He gets it on target. Mjallby just touches it around the post. It's a lot up for Celtic.
Rob Douglas went for it and didn't get enough on it. The corner kick fired in, John Hartson's headed away. Anunciação squares it, it's beyond Pedrosa. And that's a free kick for a late challenge from Agathe on Pedro Santos. And there's a ruck of players with a difference of opinion. And Agathe has been booked, he's been yellow carded.
It's very dramatic to say the least from Santos. The guy's trying to get the ball, doesn't get there. There's very little contact made. Okay, maybe a free kick, but Santos again certainly makes the best of it.
It's the first yellow card of the match, and I didn't see any great reason for that, to be honest. But let's get George Cadet's latest assessment on what's happening here.
Yeah, George, into the second half, what do you think? Change your thoughts since half time. And first of all, what do you think of that foul there?
Yeah, it's not foul because Agathe don't touch in the Boavista player. But Celtic, if want to win, need to make some chance. But I don't see the left side Celtic play. Only the right side, and you have two men in the Thompson in the left, and you have Petrov who's not play very well today, and you have in the bench a fantastic player, Maloney.
Yeah, Maloney maybe can run it at some stage, Rob, but back to you for this free kick.
It's Luíz Pedrosa who's over the ball. 4 in the box for Boavista, but it's the long range shot. and it was struck by Ávalos, but it's well off target, which is not what you could say about the earlier effort, which Rap Douglas touched away, but offered up the chance to Silva to score, and you saw from that latest replay just what an important touch that was from Johan Mjallby to deflect the ball the right side of the post for Celtic.
Well, that's what he's there for, big Mjallby. He is a good defender. Right place, right time after the slip from Rab Douglas. I wonder, just as George Cadet's saying there, I wonder how long it'll be before we see a change from Celtic's point of view. They need something, they need a spark somewhere to get something going, to create an opportunity. It just isn't happening at this moment in time.
It's a nervy performance, this, isn't it, Sandy?
It's very nervy, it's uncharacteristic. They've played so well away from home, Celtic.
That's a good touch from Sutton to Petrov. Now Larsson has dropped off. Tries to play that in for the head of Hartson. Pedrosa cleared. Larsson does well to win it back, but it's unlucky for Celtic that it fell for Martelinho. And that's out before Duda could get there. In the other semi-final, it's still 0-0 in Rome between Lazio and Porto, and of course that's the scoreline, which means that as the minutes tick by, Porto are heading for the UEFA Cup final, 4-1 up from the first leg here in Portugal. Will they be joined by their city rivals in Seville on May the 21st? The current scoreline favours the home team. It's a huge opportunity, this, for Celtic. It's there for them if they want to take it, but they must start troubling the Boavista defence. They must start working Ricardo, the goalkeeper, because in the second half he's had very little to do.
There's nothing to do, Rob. It's as simple as that, and that's, Celtic, they're trying to get down the flanks, down the wide areas, but Thompson and Agathe, it's just not happening for them. See here, it's frustration from Johan Mjallby.
And Boavista are specialists in narrow scorelines, as I was saying in the first half. They've squeaked through quite a few times, winning 1-0 at home. 0-0 would do them on this occasion, and just occasionally tempers getting a little frayed. There's a lot to be played for here. What we would all give for Henrik Larsson's 40th goal of the season. But really, no one would be too bothered about who puts the ball behind Ricardo, as long as someone does.
It's a free kick, this one, Chris Sutton. Anunciação just pushing him in the back. The referee's been given those awards all night. He's not going to change now. This has got to be an opportunity. They've got to try and find a Celtic player with the ball.
Alan Thompson, not with a great delivery, and that's a chance lost from the set piece. That's good work from Stilian Petrov. Terrific cut out there. Neil Lennon immediately fires it up to Chris Sutton, but it's back with Boavista. Pedro Santos flicks it on, looking for Silva. But a real waste of a free kick there, Sandy.
It's not the first time, and the delivery's got to be good. You've got to give the big guys a chance. Sutton, Balde, Mjallby, Valgaeren, they're all very good in the air. You've got to give them an opportunity to attack the ball.
It seems fairly obvious, doesn't it? There's three of them clustered together in the box. You've got to throw the ball in among them.
That's right. The early part of the game, Hartson was winning headers. Balde was up for set pieces, getting a little bit of joy. But since then, really, they haven't created a thing, Celtic.
You saw there the substitution board, which is about to be utilised by the home team, and striker Luíz Claúdio will come on. He started the first leg when Silva was surprisingly left out of the team, and here he is, ready for his introduction, and he is something of a super sub for Boavista. Frequently comes on and scores. Valgaeren so keen to make up for the own goal in the first leg. John Hartson felt he was being fouled as Neil Lennon rolled the ball towards him. Celtic with plenty of possession in this match. They couldn't have wanted for any more than they've had, but they really have to do something with it. They have to play with purpose. Balde for Larsson, knocks it down. Chris Sutton can't get there, and Anunciação does. Silva wins the throw. And there you see it's going to be Silva who will come off. It's going to be Brazilian for Brazilian. That could be useful for Martelinho. Neil Lennon's there. Now Petrov. And Chris Sutton lays it off for Alan Thompson. Nice passing movement. Ended by Edér's challenge on Larsson.
That's a great challenge from Edér. Henrik Larsson was trying to get beyond him, a good defending again.
Valgaeren won a good header. Erivan and now Agathe. Well, Celtic don't want Agathe on the ball midway inside his own half. They want him to do some damage further down the pitch. Valgaeren's under pressure. Pedro Santos was snapping away at the heels of Valgaeren. John Hartson, great touch, good control. Holds off Pedrosa, and a good pass in field to Neil Lennon. Looking for options, one is Petrov. Heads into the penalty box, Stilian Petrov. And turned the ball back in, hoping Henrik Larsson might make a darting run towards the near post. Instead it trundled through to Ricardo.
It was hopeful more than anything else, so if he doesn't have anywhere to go here, he's forced into a situation, just playing a, hopefully for him, a lucky ball inside the box and didn't get any kind of break at all.
I said early on, Sandy, that recently Celtic have won only 2 out of their last 8 games as Boavista prepare to make their change. There is a lack of confidence, isn't there, about a lot of the Celtic players?
You can see that, Rob. They're normally so bright going forward. They normally create lots of opportunities. But in this match, they really haven't played that well at all. Not creating chances is really not good enough. They've got to score a goal if they're going to get to the final. And they have to try and lift the pace, lift the tempo in the closing part of the game. But the one thing about Boavista, they're working so hard. Every single player in the white jersey tonight is giving it everything they've got, and they're desperate not to let Celtic in.
Luís Claúdio is on for Silva, and he's the man who scored the equaliser against Malaga in the quarter-finals. That match ending up with a penalty shootout which Boavista won. Larsson piling in the effort to try to get Celtic the result they so desperately need, but that's possession given away again. Duda lays it off for Santos. Martelinho, good ball in, and a good take by Rob Douglas as the substitute Luís Claúdio made a great run towards it.
That's a great delivery into the box. Ball, asking to attack the ball here, and Claudio tries to get there. Big Rab does exceptionally well. Both hands on the ball.
Thompson's throw. Chris Sutton was being held, and I just wonder if there's any likelihood of the referee producing a yellow card for a Boavista player. They've been doing an awful lot of shirt tugging, and there is action too down in the Celtic technical area, and we'll hear about that in a second once the free kick has been taken. But Momo Sila certainly is out of the dugout and warming up underneath us, and Johan Mjallby is over getting some treatment. Stilian Petrov plays it in. Alan Thompson! Brilliant strike, and it was deflected wide.
That's a great hit from Alan Thompson. Control. It's a good ball in. Best delivery for a while from Celtic, and Thompson catches this really well. He's unfortunate. Deflection taking it just past the post, but better from Celtic.
Five in the box for Stilian Petrov's delivery. Ricardo punches. Onto it is Agathe. Lofts it quickly back in, and an offside flag means further frustration for Celtic. Let's hear from Chick.
Well, Johan Mjallby saw there just a moment or two. He's had trouble with a contact lens, believe it or not. He's got that sorted. He's back on the park now in the central defensive position. But also, I tell you that Celtic are thinking about making a change. Momo Sila will be introduced, presumably for Agathe. and Celtic tried to step up the pace. And George Cadet beside me just tell me he thinks Boavista now will sit in and set up for this 0-0.
Yeah, suits them the way things are. Celtic have to change it. Sutton, Thompson on the ball. Now Lennon. Needed too much time, Neil Lennon. Luíz Claúdio slid the ball away from him. Balde. That's a mistake by Bobo Balde. And Mjallby wins it back for Celtic. Now Petrov. It's a good burst of pace from Stilian Petrov. Great run. Finally stopped, but he did get beyond 3 Boavista players. And Celtic need Petrov to get ahead of the strikers and to provide other options.
You need that type of determination, Rob. They have to lift the pace of the game. They have to take a chance and take people on and drive at defenders. Boavista, we keep saying they are a good defensive team. They're well organised, not great going forward, not too creative, but you have to upset their defence to get some joy from them.
Mjallby furious about the free kick being given as he put Pedro Santos on the deck. Pedrosa plays it in, Balde heads it clear. Edér to Martelinho. That's Valgaeren winning a good header. And Chris Sutton's touch not quite there. And fairly obviously, Chris Sutton is way below full match sharpness.
You can say that, Rob. He hasn't really, his touch hasn't been great tonight. And that plaster bandage, whatever it is that's on his arm, that doesn't help your balance either. That makes life more difficult for him.
As you saw there, Jamie Smith is going to be the player to come on for Celtic. Martin O'Neill's had a change of mind. Momo Sila was set to be brought into the action, but now it's going to be Jamie Smith instead. Filipe Anunciação gets it back from Loja. Good backtracking from Neil Lennon, and Smith wants on. Boavista were optimistically putting the ball down at the corner flag, but it is a throw. Loja. Duda's overhead kick. No one there for Boavista. Rab Douglas there for Celtic. It's getting to that stage where your eyes are darting up to the top corner of the screen pretty regularly. And we've played nearly 74 minutes. Not much more than a quarter of an hour left. And that is a wild lunge by Ávalos on Larsson. Thankfully Henrik is quickly back to his feet. And a yellow card shown to the Argentinian defender.
It's a shocking tackle.
It's Valgaeren who is coming off. Jamie Smith on. And if there was any doubt that Celtic were going for it, that substitution tells you what you need to know. Defender off and attacking player on. Can Celtic make this set piece count? Nope. Poor delivery from Petrov, and there have been too many of them.
That was a poor ball again from Stilian Petrov. You've got to be the first man. Easy for the Portuguese to defend it. But Jamie Smith, we see him there. I think he'll play down the left hand side. Alan Thompson's going to play central, and Neil Lennon's going to play in the back three. Interesting change from Martin O'Neill.
It's been some season for Jamie Smith. He's won his first full Scotland Cup, and can he be influential here for Celtic? Duda forces that in. Balde. Thompson clears. Anunciação stretches his right leg out to turn the ball out of play. Boavista working hard to try to reach the Uefa Cup final. They're not a hugely talented side, we know that from the first leg, but what they are is very organised, and they play with a lot of passion for Pacheco.
They're very well organised defensively, Rob. 5 across the back, 3 across the middle of the park, and they all get behind the ball, deny space, which makes it difficult to score against them.
But Celtic have beaten better teams. A lapse in concentration there from Mjallby. Duda off and running. Luíz Claúdio in the middle. Neil Lennon delays Duda. Martelinho. Luíz Claúdio, his shots came off his teammates and that took the sting out of it on its way through to Rob Douglas. It was Martelinho who unwittingly got a touch on the shot from Claúdio. Chris Sutton loses out to Edér. Mjallby plays it in. John Hartson trying to get on the end of it. Mistake by Martelinho, but he recovers well, and well, that's a dive. A delayed reaction from Martelinho, but he's got his free kick.
That's what he's looking for. The slightest touch and he's down. What do you hear? There's hardly any contact whatsoever. In fact, there's no contact whatsoever. I can't believe the Russian referee doesn't see that.
He was a couple of seconds late in hitting the deck, but referee Ivanov again taken in. Ricardo's kick and an offside flag. It's your last chance to enter the man of the match competition. 0900 10 200 25. Celtic need a man of the match. Mjallby to Sutton. That's a good layoff. Larsson with the reverse pass for Hartson. Henrik Larsson again! Larsson has scored! And is that the goal which takes Celtic to the UEFA Cup final? It's Larsson's 40th goal of the season. It's 2-1 Celtic overall.
It's great play from Henrik Larsson. It's just that sparkle we're talking about. It had to come, it's come from Larsson again. John Hartson plays a big part in this as well, but Henrik Larsson was so determined there. Great run from Hartson. They get the break here, that's what it's all about. And don't panic, Henrik Larsson didn't catch it properly, but sometimes that's the way it ends up in the back of the net.
He may have been thwarted by Ricardo in the first leg, but the Boavista keeper could do nothing this time. He got a hand to the shot from Larsson, but all he could do was deflect it into the corner. It was a wonderful quick hit from Larsson. It's 40 goals for the season, and that one is dynamite for his team. Now Celtic want to see this out, and the clock, which was going pretty quickly, will undoubtedly now slow down. We're in the 80th minute. Boavista want to make a change, and they now have to change their approach. They now need a goal to take this match into extra time.
Sorry Rob, Martelinho's also changed these tactics. Right away he's got Chris Sutton back to centre back and Neil Lennon back in the middle of the park. Happy man, John Robertson and Martelinho. Chris Sutton's now going to play centre back. I think Martelinho just wants to close the door.
What a wonderful goal by Larsson that was. It's Erivan off, and it's Jocivalter, the Brazilian attacking midfielder, who comes on. But their approach most of the evening has been one of containment. Can they now change the script?
Well, it may well suit Celtic now, Rob. They like to play in the counter-attack. They're going to have to defend well now for the last 10 minutes or so, but they could well catch the Portuguese again in the break. They have to give everything now. They have to commit people forward.
Just 12 minutes from time. That's Larsson goal. It's 2-1 Celtic on aggregate. And John Hartson wants to keep his cool at this stage. He doesn't want to pick up a yellow card. Well, we saw Martin O'Neill breaking his own record for leaps in the air to celebrate goals there. That was a big one. Ricardo into the penalty box. Up goes Balde. And it's a free kick to Celtic, and we all breathe a little easier. And Chick has been watching Martin O'Neill's reaction to that goal.
Well, remember I said at the start of the game he was very calm and collected. That's absolute history now. He's going absolute nuts down here in the technical area. And I tell you, he's just a shout at Jamie Smith to steady that left back. We talked about Boavista sitting in. George Cadet was going to say that to me, but George, you must think that this game has turned Celtic's way.
I start thinking before the goal, if Celtic don't score the last 10 minutes, Boavista go in the final. But Larsson scored. Now it's more easy, and if it's important, if Celtic don't let the Boavista take the ball and pushing the Boavista in the midfielder Boavista.
Thanks, George.
10 goals in 11 European ties this season for Henrik Larsson. It is phenomenal. His 27th European goal in all, his 197th Celtic goal in less than 250 matches, his 40th goal of the season. How valuable is that? Well, it's only valuable if Celtic can see their way through the closing minutes, and having got the advantage and got the edge over Boavista, Celtic need to stay in charge.
They've got to stay composed now. That type of ball down the middle, you would think the big three central defenders would handle that really well.
And mistakes like that from Boavista are most welcome for the Celtic supporters, who greeted it with delight. Pacheco plans another change. It's still 0-0 incidentally in Rome, and Porto clearly heading towards the UEFA Cup final, barring a miracle from Lazio. And well, Celtic Porto sounds good for Seville on the 21st of May, but don't throw things at the telly, because I know we've still got a way to go.
I'm just looking at the Boavista team, Rob. The body language isn't good. They don't seem to be able to adjust, to change. They've got to play a different way now. I just don't think they're capable of doing that.
Duda's layoff. Pedro Santos tries to get there. That was an unconventional challenge on Didier Agathe as the rain comes down in Oporto, and the Celtic fans will have a whale of a party tonight if Celtic can finish the job here. Yuri is the player to come on for Boavista, and it's Pedrosa who sacrificed at this stage. 20-year-old winger Yuri, and Pacheco wants his team to throw everything at Celtic in these closing stages to try to take the match onwards. John Hartson's the target, and very nearly got that under control.
He's unlucky, John Hartson. It's a good ball forward. Man v man at the back for Boavista. Henrik Larsson, John Hartson, 2v2.
In goes Alan Thompson to try to win it. Martelinho. In towards Luíz Claúdio at the near post. It's gone behind without a touch from a Celtic player. That's a goal kick.
It's great defending from Bobo Balde. Gets there first, doesn't allow Claudio to get across the front of him where it becomes dangerous. There's a goal again. Doesn't catch it well, but how often do you see that type of shot ending up in there in the back of the net? You catch it well, the goalkeeper saves it, hits a post. Henrik Larsson's not too concerned.
And you can almost see the black cloud above the head of Jimmy Pacheco as that ball ended up in the back of the net. What struck me about the goal, Sandy, was the speed with which Larsson got it in on goal, because he was just about to be closed down.
That's right. It was, you know, he's, if you watch it again, Rob, his first touch with his right foot is so good.
But Celtic don't want to make basic errors like that, and Johan Mjallby has picked up a yellow card, and he's conceded a free kick from which Boavista will hope to profit. I wonder if there's another twist in this tale. That was an unforced error from the skipper.
He's pulled it back, and it's a saw.
Inside the final 5 minutes, and there's a header which will get some reception from the Celtic fans as well. Neil Lennon it was doing the defending. Duda hooks the ball in. Rob Douglas chose to punch. It wasn't at all convincing, and Neil Lennon might well have just launched that away. Instead he flicked it to Mjallby, And now it's back with Boavista, who have the throw. And that was a strange decision from the goalkeeper to punch there rather than catch.
It's unusual. Big Ram normally comes and takes the ball at its highest point.
Edér is up in the area. So too is the other central defender, Ávalos. Luíz Claúdio, did he use a hand to control that? Desperate measures in defence to get the ball behind. Petrov it was. It's taken short, it's taken quickly. Celtic caught napping. No penalty given for the challenge of Didier Agathe on Jocivalter. And you think there's some justice in that, because Boavista have been flinging themselves all over the pitch right from the start.
Well, you take the words out of my mouth here. That's what happened. You dive so often. It may have been a penalty kick, it may not have been, but the referee made his mind up right away.
Martelinho's delivery, well, it was a cracker of a delivery, I thought, played up to Duda from Martelinho, and well, there you see the history on it, which we've come to expect. There was a little bit of contact from Didier Agathe, but the minute that Jocivalter flung himself to the ground looking for an Oscar, you just knew that Mr. Ivanov was going to wave away the claims. That thankfully was the outcome. Duda flicks it to Martelinho. That's another good delivery from him, and a much better bit of goalkeeping from Rob Douglas. Took the right decision that time.
That's better from the goalkeeper. Made his mind up, looked nice and confident. The ball was always going to be his.
Check, these are tense times down in that Celtic technical area.
Oh, you can cut it with a knife down here, Rob. They're going to make another change. Jackie McNamara coming in to shore up what I think will be the Alamo for the last few seconds here.
Balde loses it to Edér. That's a great challenge by Mjallby. And Edér with the shot, charged down by Stilian Petrov it was. Celtic throwing themselves at that. Mjallby was there as well. Duda. And that's deflected off Balde. Jocivalter's shot, corner kick. And I don't think I've got any fingernails left.
Celtic are under a little bit of pressure, but they're defending well. That was a great block from Stilian Petrov earlier. Bobo Balde stopping that shot.
In the 89th minute, Mjallby heads it away. Loja looking for a corner kick, unsuccessful. Henrik Larsson let it go, and phew.
Good defender from Henrik Larsson. He worked so hard. He's only had really two chances tonight. Stuck one in the back of the net.
Henrik Larsson, who was criticised by a lot of people after his penalty was saved in the first leg, even though he'd also scored in that game. Scores in most games. He scored again tonight, and well, you're just hoping against hope that it's the goal that takes Celtic to the UEFA Cup final. It's an offside against Larsson. The referee has seen it, and let's play go on. It's launched long. Edér, the central defender, has joined Luíz Claúdio in attack, and Boavista in the closing stages taking route one.
They've no option. They've got to try and get the ball in the Celtic box and put them under pressure, but Celtic do normally defend that situation well.
Edér again the target for Ricardo. Chris Sutton climbing above him to head the ball away. That's good play from Alan Thompson, and that looked like a foul by Pedro Santos or John Hartson, but the ball's gone out of play anyway. There will be, wait for it, 4 minutes to be added. We've played 90. 4 to go, 4 between Celtic and the UEFA Cup final. Celtic need to keep the ball or watch it into the stand, one of the two.
Well, they can't score from there, that's for certain. Lots of spare balls about the pitch now.
Martelinho looks as dangerous to Celtic as anyone with his great deliveries into the box, but he doesn't get it back that time from Yuri. Who's your man of the match? Make it quick.
Well, I tell you, it can only be one person, Rob. The goal is so important. He hasn't a lot of opportunity tonight, but Henrik Larsson, when they won, the only chance in the second half came his way. He stuck the ball in the back of the net, and that alone is enough to make him a hero and also tonight's man of the match.
You always hope that quality counts in football matches, don't you? And if it was down to quality, it was always going to be Celtic. But it's been hard work, but finally it looks as if they're almost there.
It looks as if it's going to be rewarding, and that's what it's all about. We keep saying Celtic are the better team, but you've got to prove that by scoring goals, and Henrik Larsson's managed to do that.
Martin O'Neill wants that final whistle, and he wants maximum concentration from his team. Having got themselves into a winning position. That's a good challenge by Thompson and Martelinho. Martin O'Neill has even been screaming at Henrik Larsson to get back down the pitch to do some defending. Up goes Balde, another important header. Whipped in towards Luís Claúdio, and again it was Balde dominating in his own penalty box. Celtic need full focus for the closing 2 minutes. Yuri looking for a chance to play the ball into the box. That seems for Duda, didn't get over the header. Jamie Smith was back doing some defending alongside Chris Sutton, and the header well off target.
It was well away from Duda, but Celtic are now doing to Boavista what Boavista were doing to Celtic for the first 78 minutes or so of this match. They're getting lots of bodies in behind the ball, making life difficult, no gaps to try and create an opportunity, and I've got to say Celtic are very good at doing that.
Martin O'Neill getting the ball back, but not doing it too quickly. Jackie McNamara still standing alongside O'Neill. A substitution is an option. Celtic not too much interested in tactics at this stage, but another substitution would spill some seconds. Ricardo again using route one. Balde's header and Alan Thompson's left boot. Get the ball back down to the Boavista keeper. We're inside the final minutes. Ricardo again, Balde again with the perfect response. That was Martelinho. Balde. That's Petrov and forces the ball out. Boavista's throw. It's almost within touching distance. Chris Sutton this time. Martelinho's cross. Lennon was there, and the overhead kick goes over the top from Luís Claúdio, and that should be it. He said hopefully.
It's got to be the last kick of the ball, but I was trying to say there, Bobo Balde the last few minutes has been immense at the heart of that Celtic defence, winning every header.
I wouldn't mind a whistle, nor would Martin O'Neill, with this ball in the air from Rob Douglas. Celtic are through to the UEFA Cup final. It's the club's first European final for 33 years. 1970 was the last time Celtic were there, and it's Henrik Larsson's goal which has done it. He scored so many valuable goals in his 6 seasons with the club, but none more valuable than that one. 12 minutes from time, the clenched fist from Martin O'Neill tells all. It's another remarkable achievement for the Celtic manager, who has guided his team through to a European final. Larsson's 40th goal of the season is decisive in Porto. And these are wonderful scenes. It was tense, it was twitchy, it was worrying at times. There was so much at stake. Celtic have played better, but who cares? The history books are rewritten in Portugal. Celtic are in the UEFA Cup final in Seville on the 21st of May. And we'll be there.
Absolutely fantastic, a wonderful result for Celtic and indeed for Scottish football. It was a long time coming, 12 minutes from the end. We're just beginning to wonder whether the great adventure had ended, that the spark had finally gone when Henrik Larsson, who else, scored a goal which means so much to Celtic. Celtic are in the final to play Porto on May the 21st. You'll see it here on BBC television. We're not leaving you either, because we're going to be over on BBC Two very shortly for more reflections on this fabulous night for Celtic and for Scotland. Let's get a quick reaction though from Paul and Gordon. Gordon, what do you reckon?
Well, congratulations to Celtic. It's a fantastic achievement. Not in terms of how they played tonight. The main thing was they got through. There's always a bottom line in cup football, and it's to go through to the final or through to the next round, and Celtic have done it tonight. That's the main thing.
Yeah, and briefly, Paul?
Well, adversity breeds character. They've gone into this game, really the form, 2 in 9, not one since Liverpool. Adversity breeds character. They've showed they've got that in abundance, and they've grinded out an absolutely magnificent result for Celtic, but globally, more importantly, for the future of Scottish football.
Absolutely. Terrific. Celtic are through, and they will play Porto in the UEFA Cup final next month. We're going to be over on BBC Two very shortly for more reaction to this result. We'll hopefully hear from Martin O'Neill and from some of the players involved in this terrific victory. But let's just leave you for the moment with some of the images of a night no Celtic fan will ever forget.
Can Celtic keep the dream alive, or will Rangers take the title? The Old Firm derby Sunday afternoon. Kick-off at 12:30, BBC One Scotland.
This is BBC One Scotland, now the news and reporting Scotland with Hugh Edwards and Edér McIntyre. It's 10 o'clock.
The Chinese struggle to curb the spread of the deadly SARS virus. Beijing orders drastic action and implements new quarantine laws. But here in Britain, no urgent action is needed, according to government experts. We'll be reporting from China, where the disease first appeared, and from Canada, still the only non-Asian country affected by a travel warning. Also tonight, reports coming in that Iraq...
One was enough, and that was fantastic. Absolutely brilliant. We're in the final. We're in the final of the UEFA Cup.
You certainly are. You're not dreaming it. The details hardly seem important, but at one stage there, I saw you shouting for the balls, because I think Boavista to get rid of the balls just to slow things down and break up the spare balls at the side of the park.
Sorry,
the spare balls. I think I saw John Robertson going out saying they have time-wasting tactics.
That's exactly right. After 15 minutes in the second half, all the balls disappeared. So we went up to the fourth official just to get the balls back on again. Remarkably, after we scored, the balls were going on 10 a penny then at that stage. Listen, in the heat of the moment, I'm absolutely delighted. I don't really know what to say. I'm delighted for everybody at the football club. I'm really especially delighted for the players, but the whole football club. You know, it's some first time in 29 years or whatever the case may be, and the people who have supported us tonight. And to be perfectly honest, the only people we could hear are supporters.
Yeah, you've got through a few European highs in your time. This is up there with that.
Listen, yes, but it's about the players, isn't it? You know, about the players and the supporters. I've always said the game's about those who pay and those who play, you know, so it's terrific. Listen, don't get me wrong, I am delighted, man. I am absolutely thrilled to bits. Thrilled, and selfishly I'm thrilled for myself. I'm thrilled for John and Steve. Come up here. It's a magnificent effort, all told, but the whole backroom staff have just been wonderful.
No pressure, all you've got to do is go and win it now.
We're going to win it now. We'll go for it. We're not there to make up the numbers. It'll be a difficult game. How's it gone at the other one?
I think it's Porto. The last we heard it, I think it was 0-0 Porto.
No, Porto, we know how difficult it is. Listen, chick, we're there. We'll think about it when we get there.
We'll enjoy that tonight.
Thank you
enjoy
very
tonight.
much.
Thanks,
really
Mark.
appreciate it. Thank you.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Yes, and we look forward to being there with them. In the end, Paul, I think justice was done. I'm not being narrow-minded and Scottish here, but the team that wanted to play football won the match.
Absolutely, and they were a limited side. We knew they were physical, they were organised, they've got a good work ethic, good team ethic. You look at the nature of their results, not being particularly impressive at home, grinding out 1-0 results. That's not good enough for me to go to a UEFA competition. Celtic, they played wonderfully well against top German clubs, Stuttgart, 2 massive Premiership clubs, Blackburn and Liverpool. Celta Vigo, top 3 Spanish side. They deserve to go through. The biggest injustice would have been had they not gone through, and O'Neill would have looked at it and thought, look at the quality of the opposition we've battered, and you know, not to go through on our own merit. So, you know, I'm absolutely delighted for all concerned.
Yeah, I think it was Jockstein, and how appropriate we should mention him, his name, Gordon, who said sometimes you have to win football matches by getting out your boiler suit and just grafting for it. And that's what they did tonight. Yeah.
They did, and I think that, you know, to give Celtic credit, I mean, Boavista are a pretty boring team. And they didn't deserve anything, and they're hard to play against. So, you know, if you want to play football, it's very difficult because all they're doing is sitting in. They're trying to go for a 0-0 at home, which is unbelievable. And I think they got what they deserved because, you know, at the end up, they changed their style of play. They started to knock the ball forward. They started to do what Celtic were trying to do to them at Celtic Park, long balls in the box, trying to get the bits and pieces. They didn't deserve anything from it. And as Paul said, I agree with him there. It wasn't really about tonight getting to the final. It's about the fantastic results Celtic have had on the way to the final here, especially, you know, beating top-class opposition in Celta Vigo and Stuttgart, and obviously the 2 English clubs that they beat. So tonight would have been
injustice, wouldn't it, Gordon?
Yeah,
you know, just for this one-off game would have been a grave injustice.
I think they'd have felt awful if they'd been out to a team like Boavista.
Absolutely no. And as time goes on, nobody remembers how things go in semi-finals anyway. The bottom line is you're in the cup final, and down the line nobody will remember that this was an absolute rubbish game. The main thing was they got the all-important goal.
Yeah, and whatever happens in Seville on May the 21st, they're in a European final. Obviously we want them to go on and win it. I hear that we've got Neil Lennon, he's talking to Czech.
Neil, there must be some scene going on in that dressing room, is there not?
Yeah, it's pretty emotional at the minute, Czech. It's a fantastic feeling, and it's a lifetime ambition, probably for all the boys, like, you know, and thought they thoroughly deserved it on the net. You know, we tried to make all the running, and, you know, they were breaking things up and diving as much as they could on that, like, you know, so when the man turned up and scored again, like, you know, it was just a fantastic feeling. Then we just had to hang on at the end.
Patience had to be the key for you, didn't it? Because you began to look at the clock with 20 minutes to go.
Yeah, it was very frustrating at first. Like, the grass was a bit sticky and that out there, you know, so the ball wasn't rolling as true as it normally would, like, but you know, we stuck at it and got what we just rewards, really.
You've had your critics this season, Neil, but tonight, I mean, your tremendous performance, you fought your way through that, haven't you?
I feel like a boxer, he's taking all the punches and I'm still standing, like. I mean, I've had it from everybody, like, you know, press, death threats, a lot, like, you know what I mean, but this is a culmination of, like, sticking in there, and, you know, the manager showed a lot of faith in me, and I'm delighted for him as well.
Yeah, and joined by Paul Lambert, who I think gave us 5 or 6 minutes for you. First of all, Paul, injury news, how bad is it, the ankle?
No, just in the tackle, twisted it really, and it's kind of swelling up a wee bit. It's better to come off and let 11 guys that are fit to play.
You've got another game on Sunday, of course. I don't know if you probably forgot all about that tonight.
Yeah, no, this is the most important game for us of the season. And whatever happens on Sunday will happen, but the final in this one's the one you want.
You're the one with the European badge, Paul. What do you tell you now in the final? What will you have to tell the guys to go on and win it?
No, I don't think they'll realise what they've done until come that day. Once they're there, it'll just be fantastic. Be the game of their lives, and you never know, a one-off game, whoever it may be, Porto or Lazio, one-off game you can take anybody.
Yeah, I think we can confirm it as Porto, you're playing in the final. Yeah. This journey home tonight, Neil, you're going by plane. I don't you need an aircraft, will you?
I don't know. It's going to be a good crack on the way home, but can't have too many because, like you said, big game Sunday, so it's another one to look forward to.
And that Celtic support outside, Paul, I mean, tremendous. I know they're wanting you for a lap of honour. I don't know the police here are going to let you do it, but they've been fantastic.
Yeah, right throughout the tournament, they always say the way support is incredible, and tonight was the exact same. They give us a full backing, but I thought the 2 games would definitely get to the fullest.
In the game tonight, Paul, you know, patience, as I just said to Neil, patience was the key for you. Did you sense frustration in the team? Perhaps the goal was not going to come up. You didn't want to go out in a 0-0.
No, I think the way it started, I thought we started to dominate the game for the off, and we knew they weren't going to create much, they were going to sit in, and it was the same at Celtic Park. They sat in and sat in. It's very hard when you're hitting a brick wall at times, but all credit to the team, they've done well.
Congratulations to you both. There's a part in that dressing room. Expecting an invite.
Wonderful scenes in the Bessa Stadium in Porto tonight. Celtic are in the UEFA Cup final, a 1-0 victory over Boavista, and they will play Porto in the final next month. They had their anxious moments though, as well we know. This particular one, 10 minutes into the second half, this was a header which you would expect Silva to take for Boavista 9 times out of 10, and this really was, as the caption says, the great escape, Gordon.
It was. I mean, I thought when the ball fell to him, Rob Douglas, one of the few mistakes he made in the night, just didn't quite get his timing right there, and it's dropped him. If he heads that back across goal to where the ball's come from, I think he scores there. But you can see he's gone for the other post, which was a strange decision, and Mjallby just stuck out a thigh, I think, just came off his leg, and it was a real escape at that point, because you're thinking if he scores there, you know, it's uphill for Celtic. But so, rode the luck with that one, but they kept fighting away.
They had a penalty claim near the end, which might have had some legitimacy, but having said that, I thought again it was justice done, because they got some ridiculous free kicks by diving earlier on, and this time they didn't get it.
I mean, some of their play was disgraceful in that regard, and the referee should have known better. However, You know, I think there was genuine contact. I've seen those type of penalties given. There's no question about that. And you know, thankfully that Celtic got let off. But it was a 1v1 situation, wasn't it, with Agathe and Jocivalter? And he's obviously, you know, doing his tricks, advancing towards goal. He does make contact and he goes to ground. But thankfully the referee has passed it by.
So that wasn't given, but let's have a look at the goal which decided the match. It came 12 minutes from time. It was scored by this player who's been just so important to Celtic these last 4 or 5 seasons. Element of luck about it, Gordon, but didn't he take it well in the end?
It was amazing. It was a great little touch. He got the break, but you know, he changed feet there. I think that was a fantastic finish, and he has to be given credit, because I think he caught the goalkeeper cold there, because the goalkeeper thought he was going to open up his body and side foot it with his right foot in the other corner. He's adjusted his body to stop that, and all of a sudden Larsson's switched feet, changes to his left. Look how quickly he changes it here.
I mean, he hasn't got a lot of space to work in over, has he, Gordon? There's a player advancing from the left, and he's just wonderful quick feet. I mean, there gets a little bit of run on the ball there, but there, quick feet, sticks it out, tremendous finish. Keeper should have done better. I thought Dougie should have got a stronger hand for that. You can see from behind the goal, I think that's a weak hand. Should have been a stronger hand and diverted it away from the goal, but didn't do that.
He's adjusting for the ball, I think, going across him, you know. But
Beautiful
I would say one thing, I agreed totally with Martin O'Neill there. I said at half time that Celtic have got to create maybe 2 or 3 chances. You think if they're going to get 1 goal, they're not going to do it in 1 chance, and yet they did. Yes. Martin O'Neill was surprised, we're all surprised. They got 1 chance in the game, and that's what's great.
That's what we were looking for, weren't we, Gordon? Just a little bit of improvisation, a little bit of somebody just to conjure something out of nothing. He's done that consistently over the last 5 or 6 years, and he's done it when it really, really matters. So, warmest congratulations.
So they're in the final. They're against Porto, who are a quality act, obviously. They've drawn 0-0 against Lazio and Rome tonight. But having said, that's the kind of game that Celtic will enjoy. Both teams trying to win it. They'll get space to play. And
absolutely. Dougie, 2 sides were technically very good. Martin O'Neill would just say, look who we've beaten and the manner in which we've beaten to get here. Porto are in that league. Celtic have got a wonderful, gilt-edged opportunity to go and win that Uefa Cup.
And it doesn't matter who's favourites to win that one. It's a cup final.
Massive lift in class, though, from Boavista to Porto. Massive. And but the thing is about Celtic, will get maybe more time to play, because Porto will be trying to win the game, and Celtic will be the team who will probably be trying to stop them playing a little bit and going back to that sort of way. But I have to say that, you know, Paul Lambert will be a great guy to have in the dressing room for that game, because he went in to Champions League final as massive underdogs. Even though he was at Borussia Dortmund, everyone fancied Juventus strong for that final, and you had Zidane and people like that, Del Piero, and they won. Dortmund won. So Paul Lambert will be able to settle his teammates down and say, look, we're going to go in as underdogs here, but we can win this final provided we get everything right on the night. A one-off game that they've got every chance.
Absolutely. Let's hear from the Celtic hero tonight, the man who scored the winning goal, Henrik Larsson. He's with Damian Johnson.
You missed a chance in the first half, and did you think perhaps it wasn't going to be your night?
No, you never think that the ball didn't come down to me, so I just tried to get something on it. Didn't get much on it, and it certainly wasn't the right direction. But it doesn't matter, we got one in the end, and we're all very happy.
Your 40th goal this season, and you started it and finished it.
What do you mean?
You started the move and then you...
Oh yeah, no, but I saw Johan had the ball, and we just got the gaffer told us to go 3 up front, so I ended up wide right. I thought that's not my best position, so I thought I had to do something off the ball, and Johan played a good ball into Sati. Sati laid it off, and I tried to sneak it into John, but fortunate for us, he slide tackled it into my path again, took a touch, and just got it in the net.
Another Portuguese side in the final, Porto?
But I mean, it's far away. We're going to enjoy this one, and we have another difficult game on Sunday.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
It's not often you see Henrik Larsson quite so animated after a game, is it? He's delighted, we're all delighted. I tell you what, if you're a Glasgow travel agent, I would have an early night. I think you'll be busy tomorrow. Here's how it happened.